Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host, Ryan Ferville, with my co-hosts Ben and Sean. We are back for another episode. Got a lot to get into tonight. Notre Dame's recruiting starting to pick back up after another huge recruiting weekend with multiple 5-stars on campus for the USC game. We'll kind of get into talk about that. Notre Dame lands another commitment for the 2027 class. And obviously, we're going to discuss Notre Dame running through USC like a red light for the third straight year in a row. Jeremiah Love having himself a record-breaking day, the most yardage ever by a Notre Dame running back in Notre Dame Stadium with all the great Notre Dame backs we've had. That's an insane stat. So we got a lot to get into. Got a big show tonight on a bye week. Guys, how are you doing? And what do we make of the big win against USC this past weekend?
Ben first.
No, I don't like beating up autistic kids, but sometimes you just gotta let USC know where they're at halfway through the season, like usual.
Yeah, Sean,
that's wild. I think it was a great game. I had certain opinions. It eerily reminded me, ref wise and extra point wise, of the A&M game, but the reverse felt like we could finally finish, right? So, penalty wise, I was getting a little annoyed that and it blew my mind. USC fans were talking about refs. Well, I do agree 100%. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That kickoff had a blatant hold that was missed, but
I didn't see it.
Oh my god! But
I didn't see it.
If they called that a hold, it would have caused way too much controversy. Just let the play go.
I will say this: I do think there is a difference in terms of plays of a hold happening behind the play and a hold happening in front of and side by side with the play. And I think the hold was behind him already and had no impact on the play. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I did think the refs were kind of atrocious with some of these calls, especially they had a whole drive where they went down the field and got a field goal just from defensive pass interference and holding penalties. But I felt like we played good. The running game was established well. Carr's worst game, and we went out there and just established a run and showed them who we were. I was incredibly impressed with Otting. At center, he looked really good for his first career start against a ranked opponent. And Schrouth, MVP of the game other than Jeremiah Love. Dude was a beast. And let me tell you this, Christian Gray, man, stepped up. Ryan said this once, and this has always been because of that, my opinion with Christian Gray. And it's people give him too much shit, and he's a good corner. And the reason that he might not look as good is because when you have Benjamin Morrison and Leonard Moore on one side, you're getting all of the targets. And when you get 100% of targets, things are going to happen, right? So that's why he looks so hot and cold. But he's a really talented player. I was impressed with we got a few breaks with that stupid fumble. There was a point in the game where before the kickoff return, I was like, oh, boy, right? But the team had the resiliency to turn it around. Marcus Freeman put his hat on to keep his hairline, and the team was coached pretty well throughout the whole game. So fairly impressed, whether this is the last time or not. Fuck USC. You can't spell stuff without USC. It's going to get renewed, but if it was the last time, it's going out on top, and I'm pumped for it.
Yeah. On that Christian Gray note, I've said this since last year. There's no in between with Christian Gray. It's either a huge play and he's getting absolutely cooked, or it's a great play where he's getting an interception. There's no in between. He had a good play on the ball here, and there's none of that. It's just either really good or really bad with Christian Gray. That was it. He has the pick, but that was after he got absolutely torched by Jacoby Lane, where it felt like he got beat by 10 yards on that play. I thought that he stepped up after that. I love what the comment that Freeman told him on the sideline after he got beat by Jacoby Lane, where he's like, "Hey man, look, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Nobody feels bad for you right now. You got to step it up and go out there and do something." And he did the very next drive, getting that pick. Which if we had a field goal kicker, we should have got 3 points out of that drive. The kicking situation has been very concerning again this year. I don't know why we keep bringing in transfer portal kickers that immediately get hurt. But
and then they go to the NFL and they look great.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Spencer Schrader, my king.
Spencer Schrader, and who?
Well, Aubrey
Mitch
never
Jeter.
kicked for us.
Blake Grupe.
Oh,
Blake Grupe, Money Mitch. But no, Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, no doubt. It's not even close. Was it J.D. Pickell said it's a mile between our running back room and the next best running back room in the nation.
Well, yeah, because Allen and Singleton suck now.
All the people that after the first couple of games of the season are like, Ahmad Hardy's the best back in college football, and look what he's done against actual competition. Looks like shit. Yeah.
Love is the only skill position player projected on the Heisman list right now.
Yeah, he is. And so I don't want to hear any Ahmad Hardy bullshit, Jeremiah Love slander ever again. Oh, Jeremiah Love only stat pads against bad teams. Because USC, let's not act like this was just the same old USC defense. Everybody told us before this matchup, man, USC fixed their defense, man. This defense is good. I had people in the group chat tell this defense is good. They
looked better against the pass, but looked worse against the run.
Oh, so Jesus. They really fixed it. They actually, stats wise, they got worse against our running game from last year than they did this year. But they can't be the narrative, because they told us coming in it was fixed. They held Michigan to 100-something rushing yards. They dominated Michigan in the line of scrimmage. That's a statement win for USC. They're a tough football team.
That's why I said they should hang the banner next to the O.J. Simpson retired jersey. Hang the banner. We ran for 158 yards. Held Michigan to 60 yards. We won by 24 points. That's the best USC has done in 10 fucking years. Is that one Michigan game? They have pulled Brian Kelly after Brian Kelly after Brian Kelly of disappointment.
Dude, to be honest too about USC,
go ahead.
I do think, why the hell is Michigan ranked 25 and USC is unranked at 26?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. The AP poll reaction.
It's only because of recency bias. It's so stupid.
They'll be ranked ahead in the poll.
Yeah, they'll be ranked ahead within the next 2 weeks.
But getting back to that,
USC game, I do want to say the exact thing that I said that was going to happen happened. The USC was going to keep it close, and then it was going to come down to, we have to make a play where USC has to be tougher than us. And then what does USC do? They don't fourth and inches. They don't run it up the middle. They don't say, have our lineman meet your lineman in the backyard and let's go at it. They roll it out.
That was stupid. That was a Notre Dame CJ Carr against Boise State type.
What, Ben, what does that tell your team about
that Lincoln Riley's a fucking pussy?
Yeah, he doesn't
want to play hard-nosed football. He doesn't want to. And when they did that stupid fucking wide receiver pass shit, the moment he ran down, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to win this fucking game. Because Lincoln Riley is tucking his tail between his fucking legs. He knows he can't beat us in the middle, so he's going to the outside. And it's not going to work for him if
they couldn't
to the outside.
Part of the reason they beat Michigan was they had success running the football.
They moved Michigan off the line.
They couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
You can trash our defense and how they've been inconsistent this year. The one thing that has been very consistent is the run defense, which is last year. What was the weakness of last year's defense? The run defense,
Christian Gray.
And Christian Gray. But the run defense has been great. I mean, King Miller. I love how the narrative went again from USC fans before the game. Man, we don't need our starting running backs. We got King Miller. He ran for 150 yards on Michigan. We're just fine. They lose to Notre Dame. The running back did nothing. Oh, well, he's our third string running back. What do you expect us to do?
I do want to point out there was that 1 year against USC where they had a third string running back from Memphis, Indiana, who ran for like 125 yards on us. So maybe like in the past history of the rivalry, it worked. They weren't wrong. It didn't work on Saturday, but it had worked before.
What's sick about it, right, is I thought it was so sick online seeing all the USC fans being like, "Oh man, I'm so glad this rivalry's done. Please let this be the last time we play Notre Dame." That is such a pussy mentality.
It feels good. We beat y'all's ass so bad, you don't even want to play your rival anymore.
Bro, no,
Did you see what Marcus Freeman said about Michigan?
No, I didn't see that.
He said something how he wants to bring the Michigan rivalry back. I saw.
I'd bring that back. At least that Michigan wouldn't be scared to play us
every year. At least they help our strength of schedule.
Yeah, but and then getting back to the game, I mentioned this, and I'm gonna take some credit for it, kind of like Ben did with how he thought the game would play out. I said you have Leonard Moore shadow Mekhi Lemon the entire game, and he did that pretty much the entirety of the game in the slot. And Leonard Moore, to me, this past weekend proved without a doubt, it's not even close. He is the best corner in the college football. He locked down Mekhi Lemon. He held him to 3 catches for 28 yards the entire game. Coming into this game, people are saying he was the best receiver in college football. And he held him to 28 yards on 3 catches. I got told by a lot of people in the group chat, they're never going to do that. Leonard Moore doesn't play the slot. They did it.
I said
they did it.
No, I said if they did it, it would be rarer than what it was. But I will say this:
what they were doing was that they were lining up guys who just matched better.
Benjamin Morrison. I think he's officially better than Benjamin Morrison.
Oh no.
I don't know.
He's all around more. He's all around.
He's never done what Benjamin Morrison did against Tom. Like Mekhi Lemon, he's got to be a second day guy. He's got to be a second rounder. But Benjamin Morrison locked down Marvin Harrison Jr., the best receiver in the country.
And he held Marvin Harrison Jr. to 16
I will say this. We also did not give Leonard Moore the opportunity against Jeremiah Smith in the national championship game. And I don't think Leonard Moore has gone up against the guy.
And now
I don't think Leonard Moore has gone up against a guy. I don't think he's had the opportunity to. So
when Moore next year as a junior is lining up against certain guys, I think it's gonna. And in the playoffs, we'll see it in the playoffs. But I think Benjamin Morrison was better at what he was as a lockdown. But I think as an all-around corner, Leonard Moore is better as an all-around do more corner.
Well, and I've said before, I see Emo. I saw him more as like a Trent McDuffie. Like he's got to stay in your face. He's got to make hard contact with you. He's gonna pressure you off the line. I see Leonard Moore as more of like I don't know. Who did I compare him to when we were talking about Frabel?
You said Marcus Lattimore
Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore before he started becoming a pussy. Yeah.
Here's my thing too, right? I love Leonard Moore, and I think he's got higher potential and higher ceiling than BMO did, right? Because I think he's just got the size, the length, something that BMO did. BMO had to be physical because he had to make up for the height differential, right? And he didn't have the longest arms.
BMO bench presses Leonard Moore.
Yeah.
He was big.
But that to me, the Marvin Harrison Jr. performance from BMO, I haven't seen that yet from Leonard Moore. Which again, I think this one was a great performance against
Lemon could be a top 3 wide receiver in next year's class. It's a weaker class, but him, Jordan Tyson, and one other guy are probably the top.
But like Marvin Harrison Jr. was the number 1 receiver with Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and himself.
And then number 2 overall pick.
I'd be interested how he locks down a guy in the playoffs, whether it's Jeremiah Smith or something.
So here's my thing.
I think if we play IU, we match up a lot better because we have Leonard Moore and Elijah Surratt than other teams do.
We did that last year, and Elijah Surratt did nothing.
Well, Curtis Rourke is also not as
Fernando
better.
Mendoza.
Yeah.
I'm
saying like you give a quarterback and Elijah Surratt last year realistically was underused because of Curtis Rourke. This year he's being used correctly.
Wasn't Rourke injured like half?
He torn ACL.
Yeah. So
playing on torn ACL.
Here's my thing. Like looking back now, with how Moore did perform when he did, this is the first time he's ever been asked to shadow a receiver an entire game. Looking back in the national championship game, does he, if we have him do that against Jeremiah Smith, not do we win the game, but does the game go a little differently?
Because at the end of the day, I still think they were trying their hardest to confuse the shit out of us, and it was working on those types of plays.
He was a freshman too, Ryan, like a true freshman.
Ohio State, they had their players like audible out of spot. Like the first touchdown of the game, that was an amazing play call by Chip Kelly. They knew that they were going to have Christian Gray track him the whole time, so he has him go opposite side. Lerner Moore's not correcting that play because Lerner Moore's got to do the same thing Christian Gray did.
Now, another question I have, getting back to the running game, Jarrett, because we've seen a lot of great running back performances from Notre Dame, right? I remember my time, the Josh Adams games where he went absolutely nuclear, the Kyron Williams games where he went nuclear.
Audric
Estime is what we saw from Jeremiah Love, the best performance we've ever seen from a Notre Dame running back, ever.
No, but it's
even with all the yards that he had, and he's him breaking the record for the most yards in Notre Dame.
Is it crazy? I felt like it could have been even better in terms of with touchdowns and finishing drives and stuff like that.
It could have been a lot better.
Against Stanford had 200 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He played Stanford, but still.
Ben?
I'd have to look at the only other person I competed with is Josh Adams. The one game he had the 99-yard touchdown. That's the only one I competed with, but I gotta look at what that game was.
Is that the Wake Forest game?
I was gonna say Wake Forest. I think it is Wake Forest. Year was that? That was 2018.
Yeah.
That's the only game I could compare it with, and I'm a Josh Adams lover. The other game maybe Kyron Williams against USC or UNC.
The North Carolina run.
I'm talking about the first UNC game in 2020 where he scored 3 touchdowns, and he got LeBron to tweet about him and shit.
The Josh Adams.
This is the biggest spotlight for a big game for Notre Dame running back because he was already established. Why people were like Kyron Williams, Audric Estime. People are like, yeah, Jeremiah Love's the best, and then he goes out there and does this on prime time, and I think that's why it's arguably. I think it's the most noticed for sure.
Williams against Clemson was a very he had 3 touchdowns against Clemson as well. That first drive, the first play of the game, that's one of those where you talk about for the rest of your life. Where were you when Kyron Williams broke it out?
I agree. Were you all nervous? So USC marches down the field, scores, starts to rain a little more. We get the ball. I will say on USC's behalf with the weather, it was absolutely brilliant to request to receive the ball first to try to get scores before the rain. Very smart. Yeah. But after they score first, were you like, how's this going to go? But then you see Jeremiah Love run 2 runs and it's fine. Because you see Carr miss 2 passes. Love gets a big run. Carr misses a pass.
I was more nervous. I was more nervous when we got the stop and we didn't score. Because I felt like every stop we got, and because we all talk about Lincoln Riley has the best opening plays out of any coach. He's amazing at his opening drives. His first 3 drives of the games. We got the fact that we had them score 10 total points in the first 3 drives of the game, and we weren't able to answer that with 21 points. That's what's me the most.
Realistically, we should have won that
and
game.
Real quickly, I want to add in one other running back performance. Yeah. Dexter Williams against Virginia Tech. 178 yards, 3 touchdowns.
In Blacksburg?
Yeah. In Blacksburg. I think that is a very I don't think it's better than Love's, just because I think Love's was against a better team. Actually, I don't know. I think Virginia Tech had better defense that year.
Virginia Tech was ranked, but they lost to Old Dominion the week before.
Yeah, they were in the top 25. But I was more saying I think the defense.
Can I tell you a crazy story with that game?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the week they lost to Old Dominion, it was 2 weeks before, and I was in Richmond, Virginia at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and I went to the bathroom, washed my hands. I'm in a Notre Dame jersey, and there's this guy in a Virginia Tech jersey. He's like, I was like, sorry about the loss. And I don't remember if Notre Dame lost or not, or if they won, but they were like, oh, like, yeah, we talked about it. He said he was going to be at the game. I was like, oh, I'm going to be at the game. Sold out Blacksburg, went with my friend. We went, blah, blah, blah. The person sitting next to me at the game was the guy that I saw in the bathroom. Isn't that wild? 2 weeks earlier,
That's
and he
wild.
lived at an area in Virginia that's 4 or 5 hours away from Blacksburg in a sold-out arena.
Oh, that's
Another
crazy.
another game, Josh Adams against Boston College. He didn't score a touchdown, but he had 229 yards on 18
Thanks
carries.
for
You know what?
ignoring my story, Ben. Yeah.
No,
Well, no, I
Also-
thought your story was. I was just going through big performances. Like,
I
tell us more about. Tell us more about your, circle
My
jerk buddy
bathroom
in the bathroom.
experience. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
I just thought it
really
was
quick.
Virginia Tech.
The Josh Adams performance against NC State in 2017.
200 yards. Yeah.
That one was where he had. Well, I just remember the Mike Tirico call where he's like, "Josh Adams again," like because he had like 3 huge runs in that game for like touchdowns. That was during the 33 trucking Heisman.
That's when they were pushing that shit hard.
Yeah.
Well, he was like 20 yards or 30 yards away from breaking the college football record for most yards after contact by a running back.
Yeah.
Like he was. I don't remember. He ended the. Did he get hurt in the Stanford game that year?
I think he might have. I never understood why he never panned out in the NFL because he was
Maybe a lot of
good.
reasons.
Did he get drafted or undrafted to the Jets?
He was
He was
undrafted.
undrafted to the Eagles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Well, okay, yes, he did get hurt in the.
Jets.
No, it was the Eagles.
He played for the Jets.
Oh, I thought you were talking about he was undrafted to the Eagles because I remember in Madden that year I used the my player thing. I ran with Josh Adams the whole year. But that game against Stanford, he had 20 carries for 49 yards. So he might have been hurt. That was the game Bryce Love went off against us and like demolished us. And KJ Costello had 4 motherfucking touchdowns.
Why do you think he didn't make it in the NFL?
He was a big running back. He was just a big running back who was slow.
He looked
same reason Audric Estime.
I don't know. He looked fast to me.
Audric Estime is a little different. He's a little bulkier, so I thought Estime would be a better
do you remember the 99-yard touchdown that Josh Adams had against Wake Forest? Like that was.
But there's other things with that as well. Like we can looking back at that game, Wake Forest, they were in a complete set, like they were boxing the zone, and he just bashed right through it. There was no one chasing him because no one was preparing for Josh Adams to bash right through it.
Wake Forest team too.
Yeah, and they were I don't remember what Josh Adams ran, but he ran like he had the 3rd or 4th slowest time for a running back in the combine that year.
That's crazy. I don't know. You just see same thing with Estime. They play faster on TV.
Well, yeah, they're games.
They can't hold on to the ball though.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Well, Estime's biggest thing is that he's a gain speed guy, but he fumbled the ball way too much for a guy who's supposed to be a power back.
Michael Carter and Javonte Williams both had key roles. I know for a fact Jeremiah Love will be a 1st rounder. I'm starting to think Jadarian Price and that might not even be a 4th, 5th rounder. I think he could be a 2nd, 3rd rounder now.
Did you see the Mel Kiper's recent board? Jeremiah Love's number 1, Jadarian Price is number 3. So
I already know. I know
Price
does Price go somewhere where he's relevant next year?
I know the Bengals are heavily wanting to look at Price because Chase Brown's not turning out, and they like how Price is able to move upfield.
Yeah, Price is going to be gone next year. They're both gone.
I still think it'd be fucking hilarious if Price came back just because Jabril Payne. I'm gonna sit through all of it. I'm gonna sit behind Price. I'm gonna sit behind Estime. I'm gonna sit behind Love. I'm gonna compete. I want to play football in Notre Dame. If it did, there's Jadarian Price. Fuck you, buddy. I'm coming back.
So my thing is if Jadarian Price does, if it's a situation where he gets told, hey, you'd probably be a late 2nd round, early 3rd round pick. If you're Notre Dame and you're Marcus Freeman, do you give him 2nd, 3rd round pick money to get him to come back for another year, or do you just let him go?
You're getting a 5-star from Penn State potentially.
But that's not for another 2 years.
Well, he wouldn't be here until
after next year.
Yeah, he wouldn't be here until then. So yeah,
he would only be 1 year without him. So we could roll with Nolan James, Jabron Payne, and
Keidron Young, Aeneas Williams. You would just have an unknown commodity at running back. That would be the only thing.
My thing, I feel like it's got to depend on where the team's at. Realistically, I could be fucking wrong. And I made the joke earlier. He's got to pull Travis Etienne, Jeremiah Lovewell
Mm-hmm.
come back. Won't happen. Price, it's got to depend on where the team's at. We can afford to pay him second round money. I don't know if we should, but we can.
Would you, if the decision was up to you, would you?
I think it sets a bad precedent, so no. I would rather, get this kid the NFL, let him live out his dream.
I also think Notre Dame sending 2 running backs in the same year as like top 3 round picks, I think that would do wonders for running back recruiting in general. Like
I've heard people
be an unselfish back and be drafted.
Yeah.
Well, I've also seen people say that maybe Price is a first round pick too, and they were looking into the fact that they're saying Price could be. They're saying that if Price was by himself at Notre Dame, he could do just as he would do better than himself right now.
Next year, I will send you $100, Ben.
Shake on it. Well, no, I'm just saying you got to look at this.
No, wait. Caveat to this though, I will do this trade. I will do this bet as long as Jeremiah Love does not get hurt and Price is.
Well, yeah, obviously. I'm not going to give a shit if Price is a first round pick and Jeremiah Love gets hurt. But what I'm hearing from people, like the people that do like the draft like the scouting reports and shit, is that there's a lot of question about if Jadarian Price is by himself. If let's say he was at a school like Alabama, or if he went to a school like Georgia and he was by himself, and he was the number 1 back, and he was averaging 23 carries a game, how good could he really be? And how much better with everything else he can do as well as a blocking back? Because he's not missing blocks, and as a kick returner, he's a lot like Kyron Williams, but he's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know 2 things with him?
I don't think teams want to miss out on another Kyron Williams like they did with Kyron Williams.
I remember when he got hurt in the spring game, and I was like, I still think he looked so much flashier then, but he just looks so more solid now. Like it's
he looks faster. I've said this the last 2 years. Every year since he's been at Notre Dame, he's faster. A step. He's a step.
So good as like he was more shiftier, I think. Then now I think he's faster and just more of a bruiser. He's better. But Ryan, I had major deja vu with that kick return.
Oh yes, when we were at the
in the rain. When 2 years before we were at that game and he had a kick return against USC in the rain. I think we were down. No, we were up at that point. But it still was like, what is happening right now?
Dude, because my mom was at that game. When USC went up before the kickoff, I texted my mom during the commercial break, and I said, what are the chances Jadarian Price houses this shit? And because my mom gets invested, and she was fucking pissed at how we had been playing so far. And she's like, that's not going to happen, but it'd be nice. I'm like, okay, yeah, it would be nice. And then he proceeds to take that shit back 100+ yards. The only thing he didn't do that he did against that one was do the signature peace sign that he did. Yeah. But the call for that is one of the greatest all-time calls I've heard for a Notre Dame game. Jadarian to Jahouse, that was a great call. That's why we need Noah Eagle to call all of our Notre Dame games instead of fucking Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett like this?
Yeah. Fucking.
I gotta tell you.
Last thing on this game, right? Because I kind of want to talk about this. CJ Carr had his worst performance. Sean mentioned it earlier. Some people in the group chat were kind of, Noah, who's been, recently has just kind of been the Debbie Downer every single week, is very concerned with CJ Carr's play the last couple of weeks. Me personally, I'm not concerned at all. I think the stuff we've seen, he's been very, 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 very fucking good and much better than what we anticipated coming into the year. I think to me, there's a certain amount of leeway you just have to live with, and certain amount of mistakes you just have to deal with when you're breaking in a freshman quarterback who has never started before. That's just my opinion because I feel like that's football. That's normal. You see it in the NFL. You see it in college. You see it in high school. It just happens. It's a thing that you have to learn from. Now, the USC mistake, that was the most retarded shit I've seen a quarterback do. Don't care. Most retarded shit I've seen from a Notre Dame. I've seen a Notre Dame quarterback do in a very long time. But
Sir, I call bullshit. I saw Drew Pine throw it off the back of a center's head.
That's true. That is true. But to me, like outside of that play, which I said multiple times, like I can't give him a pass for that one, right? Because that's just you got to learn to throw it away. You held the ball for 15 seconds. The play is dead. There is nobody open. Throw it away.
I think that was off your turnover too.
It was. But that's my thing. Is like that's the only one I legitimately looked at Carr and I said, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Outside of that, the other 3 picks that he's had, 2 of them I chop up to just he hesitated and he made the wrong decision, right? And ended up in an interception. One was tipped. The other one I believe was tipped by Price. Or it was a slightly.
It was tipped by Price. It was tipped by Price, but realistically, what's his name? He made an amazing play on that ball to catch it.
Yeah.
And
then the one against
NC State.
Oh, it was Justin Scott.
Yeah.
Texas A&M.
No, that was just a guy. And then the one against NC State should have been a PI, but whatever.
You still throw away that football.
But it was PI. But yeah, I don't know how you guys feel. I'm still very happy with what we've seen.
If that's the worst game of CJ Carr's season, then we're winning the national championship. I will make that openly clear. We're winning it if that's the worst game of his season. Without also being said, I'm preparing for the Pittsburgh game to have a 3-interception game just because it feels like it's got to be one of those games where we just beyond fuck it up.
Yeah. Sean, what do you think?
I've always been a CJ Carr guy. I mean, just like I have been with Freeman. Always been a Freeman guy. Like when people said Northern Illinois, blah, blah, blah. I talked to this about my brother-in-law. Like you could just tell. Like with Freeman, we were close in big games for the first time. We weren't with Brian Kelly. You could tell, even though they had those bad losses, you could tell with the future. Same thing with CJ Carr. Even though he has those really bad picks occasionally, you can see the future with him. He could throw 3 picks next week against Boston College, and I will still be 100% CJ Carr.
Well, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
No, I would.
If he threw 3 picks against Boston College, I might throw my TV off the balcony. Because that Boston College team is bad.
But my question is, should we be freaking out right now?
No,
with the way he's been playing. I just don't get it. I don't like. To me, yes. Does he have?
And they ran the ball well.
Does he have decision-making issues he needs to work on? Yes, because I think the problem is he's a young guy. He's very confident in his ability to make plays when they're not there. And sometimes he just needs to realize, hey, this play is dead. I'm not going to be able to do what I did against Miami week 1 every single time a play breaks down and be able to throw a no-look pass for a touchdown. Like, to me, I chalk that play up against USC as maybe the Miami play for his first ever touchdown could have been one of the worst things to happen to him in terms of a experience thing, because he did that when a play broke down and it was dead, and he kept it alive and found a guy in the back of the end zone, right? So I'm thinking that entire time he's running around in the back against USC, I'm like, oh, maybe he can do it again.
Why are fans upset? Because we've had quarterbacks for the last 10 fucking years that have been afraid to sling the ball. And have been check down margins, have been medium.
Riley Leonard would have threw that ball away within 2 seconds.
Yes, but we finally have a guy that's willing to risk and make throws. It's going to come with some repercussions. I'd rather have someone fight and make a play better than just give up on a play. Yes, you should decision-making know certain times when to give up, but at least he's fighting for it. I'd rather have a guy that's going out there and taking shots versus, oh, I'm just going to check it down. Drew Pine it, Ian Book it occasionally. And I love Ian Book. Riley Leonard was like that, but he could run. But this is the first time we've had a quarterback willing to sling it, and that's going to come with some mistakes occasionally.
I also
my main thing with it is that you have to. Those are plays where you can't say like, "Hey, at least you're taking a shot," because those are plays where you just gotta make the smart decision. Just get rid of the ball.
You kicked the
But
field.
no, what I'm saying, I understand, but we can't just keep saying, "Oh, well, Ryan Leonard checks it down." Ryan Leonard probably doesn't check it down. Ryan Leonard probably puts his head down and goes for the touchdown. He doesn't throw it, which works, doesn't work. I don't know, but I would rather them just say, "Okay, you know what? Play's dead. Fan row 23, here you go. Here's a free ball." Some shit like that. Not I can make a play here, like maybe if I catch this guy off guard. And also realistically, that was possibly the worst throw, like technique wise, I've seen CJ Carr have this season.
He threw it back across the middle of the field, which is something as a quarterback you never do.
No, you could tell his process was off because he stopped his throw and then he went back and tried to do it again, and that's what led to the pick, was him stopping mid throw.
Well, and the thing is, it just wasn't there. I saw what he was trying to hit Fields. In that situation, Fields probably does need to work harder to get back towards the ball because he just kind of sat there.
Well, Fields probably thought, "Hey, this play's fucking dead. Like, why are we going to throw this football?"
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Malcolm Fields has played 25 games of football. He could tell when a play is dead.
Yeah. I think also, to me, even from the first drive, like Sean Brent to the missed easy throws, CJ to me seemed like he was forced, like he was in his head trying to play hero ball. He was trying and he was overthinking. And the thing is, like, I don't understand, right? And I think part of it is he's a freshman, is when he's at his best is when he's just on point. He's not thinking about it. He's not thinking too much. And he's just hitting it, just taking what's there. He did it against Miami, which is weird because it was the same situation. He's on the road. It's raining. He's getting fucking killed by his offensive line. And he goes out there and he's balling, right? He looks great. And then same thing against A&M. Looks fucking amazing. Looks great. He's not pushing it. He's not forcing it. Like, I don't know why recently, last couple of games, I've noticed him try to force things and try to play too much hero ball. You can tell he's getting happy.
Well, I think that's just a learning curve that we're gonna have to deal with having a fresh quarterback.
But I will say that on the bright side, while he was having his off game, he was able to rely on his team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not all quarterbacks can do that.
This game ended up being to what I thought the Miami game was going to be.
I was going to say that.
I really thought this game ended up being what I really thought the Miami game was going to be. Except I didn't know if Jeremiah Love was going to run for 200 yards. But I thought that it was going to be Jarian Price and Jeremiah Love were going to have to carry us to the win. And then we're going to call on CJ Carr to make certain throws.
All right, final thing on this game. Is Jeremiah Love a legit Heisman contender after this game? Like, do you think he has a legit shot to be in New York by the end of the season?
Yes, but here the issue with him is now he's starting to get up there in the yards. I don't know if he has enough yards. He definitely has the touchdowns, but with him splitting carries, this kind of hurts him compared to a Genty. But I think that if he keeps having certain games, like not 200 yards, but 150 yards, he's going to be in New York. But he's going to have games against Pitt where he's going to have 10 carries and 30 yards, and that's probably going to keep him out of there.
Man.
I think if Jeremiah Love leads the country in rushing yards, and if he leads in yards per average, I forget what the minimum is for attempts for that, but I want to say he has to average like 6.5, right?
But I think more so he's going to have more touchdowns than he is going to have
yards.
He's probably not even going to be top 5 in yards.
I think he could be number 1 in yards. 100.
What is he right now?
He's 6.
Yeah.
Going into the bye. So we have 5 games left. And other teams already played 8 games.
And other teams have already had their bye too.
Yeah, Cam Cook's Cam out of all power four, he's third. Amal Hardy, who's currently sucking. LJ Martin, who's fifth.
What helps him is this is a very, and when I mean very, this is a very down year for Heisman. And every year in college football, I believe, I might be wrong. I think somebody told me this. It's either that ends in 25 or ends in 5. I think it's ends in 5.
And every year that ends in 5, a running back is winning the Heisman.
So I do think that with it being such a down year, there really isn't anybody I would say, I'm thinking it's Carson Beck, Klubnik. You could say Pavia, but he'll fall off. Maybe the Indiana quarterback, but
I think it's got to be either Mendoza or it's going to be Ty Simpson. That's what I think.
Yeah, but who knows? Indiana could. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Like if Indiana, we were talking about before the podcast where you came in, Sean. We were talking about Indiana UCLA week. If Indiana looks like a completely different team and they blow that shit up and they start sucking, it change. But right now, I think Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback in the country, and I think he's got to be number one. I think he's got to win the Heisman.
It's weird because I think he is playing like the best, but I don't think he is the best, and I think he's definitely going to be overdrafted next year.
What did you say?
You know what's crazy though is Jeremiah.
I think that he is playing like the best, but I don't think he's the best. There's two differences. He's not the best quarterback in college football, but I think he's playing like.
I think he's the best quarterback in football. Stuff that he does, the throws he's made, like he's what Garrett Nussmeier's supposed to.
Personally, I think CJ Carr is more talented than Mendoza is, but more talented.
I think Julian Sayin is more talented than him too.
Like I think Dante Moore
is more talented, but I think that Mendoza is playing like the best quarterback in the country and well deserved.
When I look at talent, one big thing I look at is decision making. And you just named 2 guys who I think have made the worst decisions in college football right now. And I understand they're but that's Dante Moore's a fucking junior, so he started at UCLA. But I'll give it to Carr that he's a redshirt freshman. But Dante Moore, like some shit that he's done, like there's no excuse.
Like the quarterbacks in next year class, we're gonna go to like Klubnik, Nussmeier, and Sellers to it being Mendoza, the quarterback for Oklahoma maybe, and then being Dante Moore and Nussmeier.
I'm not gonna lie, the quarterback class this year is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I just think Mendoza's gonna be number 1 overall pick because I think it's good.
Next year. I don't think Carr is going to go because I think that's when Arch and others go, and I think he can wait 1 more year to be the next.
I don't think Arch is ever going to go to the draft.
Yeah, how bad he looks. But
think about this. Goes to the draft, he's going to be Shedeur Sanders 2.0.
But after next year, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be draft eligible, if I'm not mistaken.
Like next year, Carr's draft eligible. Manning's already draft eligible, who probably won't go until next year. Like Garrett Nussmeier will probably go. Kate Klubnik will probably go.
Realistically, I could see Carr. He would be draft eligible next year. I don't think he'll enter the draft next year.
I think it's got to really depend on where we're at as a team. I think if he's getting first round grades, I could definitely see him going. I don't think he goes to be a second or third round.
You better be more thinking about Notre Dame winning a natty.
Well, he better get us a natty first, and then he can leave.
I don't care what he does if he gets me a natty. He can go play for the AFL, CFL, NFL.
All right.
Wow.
45 minutes talking about Notre Dame, USC. All right.
Quick.
15 minutes to talk about everything else.
Yeah.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the voice of college football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click Join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
All right. Thank you for that, Mark. Anyways, let's get to our next topic. Kind of go through this real quick. Top 25 AP poll reaction. This kind of want to get our thoughts, quick thoughts. Is Notre Dame too high, too low, right where we like it? What are your guys' thoughts on the AP poll this week?
I'm completely fine.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's just right. I think BYU and Vandy, as of now, should be above Notre Dame. So I think especially BYU being 7-0. I was surprised. I knew Vandy would jump us. I didn't know if they'd do it yet with BYU, but it's deserved.
I think if Tech wins against Arizona State, they don't put BYU above us, but I think because Tech lost, that's why they put BYU above us.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fine. The biggest thing I'm worried about, and this does affect the polls, is we talked about playoffs, and it's looking more realistic by the day after Miami losing. There is a good chance that 2 ACC teams get in, and that's because Miami won't play in the ACC championship. They are getting in. So at that point, we would need to keep an SEC team out. The 3 bigs are getting in.
Well, wait, you forget that there's only 3 Big Ten teams making in this year. Compared to last year, there was 4.
5 conference champs, right?
Okay.
That's including group of 5, right? 5 conference champs. 2 more Big Ten. 1 more ACC. That's 8. So then if I say 5 SEC, like I just said.
Oh, you're saying 5. When you said 5, I thought you meant the 5 conference champs. Go ahead.
5 SEC is not making it in.
I don't. Let's
it's
talk
up for
about
debate, but go ahead.
Okay. So I think Alabama and Georgia, whoever wins the SEC loses the SEC championship. That has no effect, and both teams will make the playoffs.
Texas A&M is going to play for the SEC championship.
Okay.
We'll see.
But whatever it is, A&M, Bama, Georgia, I think they are in, right? I think they will be in. Those teams will be in. Because I still think even with 2 losses, those teams are the 3 that are guaranteed. Ole Miss's schedule is easy enough down the stretch where I could see them making it as the 4th. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Vanderbilt and Missouri. One of them will lose and knock the other out. Then you look at Vandy's schedule. If they went out, that's a 5th. But even if they don't, if Vandy has 2 losses, whether you get mad about it or not, could they put a 2-loss SEC team above Notre Dame?
If it's a 10-2 Vandy and a 10-2 Notre Dame, they are not putting a 10-2 Vandy in over a 10-2 Notre Dame.
I don't know about that one.
Whether it's right or wrong.
So for Vandy to be 10-2 Fravel, that means, let's say this, they lose to Tennessee. Well, then that means they have a 11th win against against South Carolina, win against LSU, win against Missouri. That's 3 top 15 wins, and they have a win against Texas. That's a top 25 win.
I do think the polls inflate. Let me talk for a minute. I don't want to get interrupted with this. The polls inflate to where the SEC teams are higher because the other teams are higher, but I think they're made higher to make each other higher. Like, I think these teams are like some of these teams are, if they were in another conference, they probably would be a little lower. And I think that they're being pushed higher to help the SEC look better.
Like, here's my thing. I also think whether or not it is right or wrong, because Vandy will probably have the harder strength schedule.
A recent loss,
the better one. But also, like, if Vandy loses the final week of the season to Tennessee, and Notre Dame has won 10 straight, and say one of their losses is to the team that wins the SEC championship, that the conference that Vanderbilt is in, and you lost by a point to said team, And the fact that I do, whether or not it's right, it does exist because these are humans making this decision that understand money, ratings, and brands.
What
Notre
about
Dame,
Oklahoma?
Notre Dame, if it's the final spot between Notre Dame and Vanderbilt, realistically, Notre Dame would get in because of one, the brand recognition, the recency bias of them winning 10 straight and Vandy losing in the final weekend, and two and three. I think the committee would be like, what's going to bring in more money, Notre Dame or Vanderbilt? And also, Notre Dame might get the benefit of the doubt based on what happened last year because these committees year after year do
Agreed.
this.
Call me crazy, but I think majority, if not all, and there's not going to be all, but I think every team, it could be BYU or Texas Tech, and instead of Georgia Tech, it could be Virginia or Louisville. You don't know. But realistically, I think every team that's already in the top 12 could be your playoff teams. Is that crazy to say?
Yes, it is.
I mean, let's talk about this for a second.
There's no group of 5 in the top 12.
Oh, yeah.
You
so
stupid motherfucker. Obviously.
Oh, no. Well, no, I'm just saying there's no group.
Realistically.
No,
yes.
I don't think there, but I don't think that. So what? Right now, there's one. Well, let me do the math here. 3, 4, 5. I don't think there's gonna be 5 SC teams. I just don't.
What if
I think if I were to do my SCT, if I were to do mine right now, I did in one of the chats a few days ago. IU, Ohio State, so I have 3 Big Ten: Ohio State, IU, Oregon. 4 from the SEC: A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. And then I have Notre Dame. I have the winner of BYU, Texas Tech, UC. And then I have 2. I have probably Georgia Tech and Miami. And then I'm taking USF as of right now.
So who's left out for Notre Dame?
Andy.
And
I don't think Vandy's going to be a 2-loss team. I just don't see it happening.
I think they're a 3-loss. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this. What if Missouri beats them this week and they're eliminated? Now Missouri's that team. They have
Vandy's beating.
Missouri has a tough. Well, okay, but he's saying what if Missouri has a tough schedule? Let's pull up Missouri's schedule.
That's what I'm hoping. I think we should hope for Missouri to beat Vanderbilt this weekend.
Missouri has to go to Oklahoma and they host A&M.
I think too. Oklahoma has the toughest, and I don't see them winning.
Oklahoma's. We were talking to Oklahoma. I've heard Oklahoma fans say, "Oh, well, 9-3 Oklahoma can make it in." You guys have to get to 9-3. You don't have that guarantee.
Also, a 9-3 team. I don't care. I've said this in Spaces. I've said this in the group chat. A 9, in my opinion, unless you have a 2019 LSU strength of schedule where you had
Florida
to play
this year,
8 ranked team or Florida, and you go 9-3. I don't think.
Well, Oklahoma's schedule is pretty close to being that good.
But the thing is,
I think it depends on the wins. Right now, Oklahoma. Let's say this: Oklahoma goes out there and they beat Ole Miss, and then they beat Alabama, and their losses are to Tennessee, Missouri, and LSU. I would justify it. I would. I really would. I don't
think a 9-3 team personally should ever get in a 12-team model.
No,
unless
this year. Now, I do think eventually there should be, but I still think that if there's a 10-2 Power 4 team that's established, they should be in first. And if there's an 11-1 lower end Power 5 team, they should get in.
To me, 9-3 South Carolina had a better argument last year than a 9-3 Oklahoma team would this year. They had a quarterback that was playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. They had just blown out the team that won the ACC champion that was in the playoff, and they had one of the toughest strength of schedules in the nation. They got screwed in a game against LSU by the refs that they should have won. They almost beat Alabama. They missed a 2-point conversion that would have won them the game against Alabama.
Do we want
the year? I just don't think, to me, in the sport, 9-3 is like you have to be really fucking good. You have to have.
I think Alabama really this year would be the. I think
it just has to be.
Alabama's the only team I think at 9-3.
Or for a 9-3 team to make it, you have to have all hell break loose, upsets galore. for you to get it.
I think it just has to do with what are the good wins. I think if you have 2 top 10 wins and you have 3 top 25 wins, you deserve to make it in. That is
But
at
I
9 and
deserve.
3. I
Here's
think
my
you
thing.
deserve to make it in.
I agree, Ben. But I also will say this, and I agree. But if you do miss it at 9 and 3, you can't complain about missing it with 3 losses.
I think you can. If you have 2 top 10 wins when every other team in that playoff, there's maybe one team in the regular season with 2 top 10 wins. I think you easily could complain.
So
about
okay,
it.
what if
I
understand.
You have for a reason.
I think it's
Win your game.
justified.
You can't. This isn't the
So
NFL.
what are you gonna do? But what are you gonna do when your quarterback gets hurt the week of the biggest game of your season, and then you lose that game? Like that's my thing.
Then you have your team. You're a team for a reason. It's not.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. You have the team. You have a top team because you don't win those games not being a top team, and then you have a resume to prove it. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be allowed in. I don't think Oklahoma's that, but
this isn't the NFL. I will say too. Like this is like. What makes college so good is you have to win your games. And if we turn to the sport to where you could lose that many games and where losses don't matter, that's going to ruin the sport.
Losses do matter. Okay, we've already pointed out that you could start off 0-2 and still make it. I just think if you had 3 losses and then you
only 3-loss team that'll make it this year.
I'm just saying
that loses in the SEC championship.
Well, I'm saying 3-loss regular season team is my point. But my main point is being this: if you had 3 losses and you have 3 top 25 wins, or grand total, we have 5 top 25 wins and 2 of those top 25 wins are top 10 wins, I think you deserve to make it.
But I think the rankings are skewed, is what we're saying. They make the rankings look good to like some of these teams. Like it's like, oh, you beat this team, but are they really a top 10 team?
Like realistically, last year, Alabama they told Alabama, great, you have. I think Alabama had 3 top 15 wins, 1 against Georgia. Great. You beat Georgia. Congratulations. Congratulations, you beat Ole Miss.
They shouldn't have made it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I think Alabama should have made it last year.
Congratulations, you
think they should have?
Carolina.
I think they should have. I don't know if they get I would not say they get destroyed, but I think look at that team. Like, yes, you have 1 bad loss, and at the end of the day, it's their own fault for not making it. But you look at the team; they were top. Oklahoma game was their bad loss.
Oh my God, they lost to Vanderbilt,
who was ranked.
They weren't ranked when they played them.
No, Vanderbilt
finished the season ranked.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Andy?
No, Vanderbilt ended the season 7-6.
Yes,
they ended the season 7-5, which is ranked in the SEC.
7-5. They were 8-5 at the end of the year.
So, well, after the bowl game, what were they? Because that's regular season.
They were 7-6 for the bowl game.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this though, like I think if one of those 2 losses were better, yes, I think they should have made it.
But they lost 3.
Ryan. When you lose to 2 teams that were very bad last year at points and lost to Georgia State and an Oklahoma team that got destroyed often, and you lost the way you did, you shouldn't make it.
You have wins against top teams in the country.
But you lost to some of the worst teams that year.
They didn't lose. Diego Bobby was one of the best quarterbacks in college football last year. What are we talking?
They lost to Georgia State.
Okay, we lost to NIU. What's your point? No one gives a shit about week 1.
Okay.
Yeah, but we lost 1 game. They lost 6 of them.
Okay, they were still looking like a good team. And look at their losses. Look at their losses. Who's Vandy's losses? Texas, who made the fucking Final Four. Tennessee, who made the fucking playoffs. Georgia, who won the SEC. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I think it's safe to say Ben is an NFL fan. He hates college football. He wants to ruin college football.
Actually look at teams and say,
watch the NFL.
No, wait. Right. Because I'm able to look at teams. I'm able to say, oh, this team is a pretty good team. This team probably has a top 15 roster. And their resume is a top 15 resume. That means they should make it in, dude.
So my question is, so you're the believer that you think it should be not the most deserving, it should be the best. I'm just going to ask this real quick.
Yes, I believe it should be. I believe it should be
ask
both.
this.
I said that if you have a top 15 resume and you have a top 15 team, you should make it into the
I have a
playoffs.
question. Because let's be realistic then, because this is always my argument with this. If Alabama is the best every year because they're Alabama, because, they have a great roster and they recruit top 2 classes every year, then it doesn't matter what they do on the field because they have the, hold on.
No, Sean, you're not understanding my point. I'm saying that if you have a top 15 resume and you have a top 15 team talent-wise, I think you should make it in. I'm not saying it's just that, you look like you have a top 10 team. The games don't matter. I'm saying that their resume is top 15. Their team is top 15. There's no reason for them not to make it in. And I believe that SMU just was not they weren't even top 20 team in my opinion.
I will say this.
They weren't good.
Do agree. Now they're top 15 resume versus, and they weren't top 12, so they finished around
Me personally,
I agree, Ben. Hold on. I agree that if they have a top 15 resume and everything, they should be in. I don't disagree with you. However, the only reason that these are my 2 reasons of why they shouldn't have made the playoffs. A, because every team that lost in their conference championships last year were not punished or dropped. So
I also think that's a stupid rule too.
So I agree, but if you don't drop the other 2 and you drop SMU, that's not a good look, right?
I agree. I agree with that, but that's what I'm saying. I think that's a stupid rule.
I also agree.
Iowa State didn't make the playoffs, and they were dropped out of the top 12 after losing the Big 12 championship.
One of them are going to get in. That's fine. But the other thing is,
my main point is being that if the game should matter. Every game matters.
I know.
That shit.
But the other thing is, I do agree with the top 15 resume, and I think that if you exchange one of those losses with a different team, I think yes, a 9-3 team should get in. But you have to remember, like at the time when they lost by 2-3 scores to both those teams, how bad of losses those were. Like they were around the country.
Talking about Alabama?
The people were like, these are terrible losses.
Oklahoma, they lost to an Oklahoma team.
They lost to Oklahoma by 14, didn't they?
Yeah, Oklahoma, but they lost to an Oklahoma team that had their entire starting receivers out. They had their backup quarterback in that game. They had their 3rd string running back, I believe, starting that game. Yeah, and they lost to that team.
Like if you exchange one, I agree.
I agree with you, Ben. They had Jackson Arnold in at quarterback. Oklahoma did.
But I thought it was Michael
Hawkins. And they still had one of the best defensive backs in the country playing.
I agree with you though with the resume, but I just think last year was not the year for it. A, because it was the first year, and B, because I don't think it should have been Alabama.
I think they fucked up. I think they fucked up the whole thing last year.
Well, okay. In general, I don't think if you put Alabama there.
I think when we're sitting there watching Georgia Tech, we're hearing a 2-loss Georgia just has to beat Georgia Tech to make the playoffs. When we're hearing that in the SEC championship game does not matter. That's where I'm like, okay, this is fucking stupid. Why the fuck are we doing this? The conference games should matter because you go look at SMU's schedule last year. SMU's best win last year was BYU, who finished the year ranked 20th.
Yeah.
That's not a good resume. It's not good at all. They should
also,
be.
But the thing is, they also didn't lose.
They lost to BYU. Their best win was Louisville, who finished the year unranked.
They did lose by 3 to Clemson in the championship.
But also,
I don't give a shit. Your resume's not, but your resume's not good enough. Your resume is.
But
yes, you can. You can control if you beat Clemson and win the ACC championship.
It's the same thing. It's the same argument.
Alabama could have controlled beating Vanderbilt and
the argument is
also controlled by beating Georgia and beating
the argument. The argument would be SMU. The argument would be that SMU. Yes, they didn't have as good of wins as Alabama, but guess what? The teams that they should have beaten that were unranked, like a Vanderbilt or an Oklahoma, they beat those teams. And they didn't.
I don't know if SMU beats Vandy last year. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't talk
SMU is not a top 20 team. But these are hypotheticals here.
No, but I'm saying the teams on their schedule that were.
That's why with the facts they beat those teams. They looked good, and you know what? At the end of the day, that year. Regardless of you could say resume or not, SMU did deserve to be there, and all because you get blown out and lose doesn't mean they didn't deserve to be there. And you know what?
Alabama gets blown out if they make it.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as with Notre Dame. when it was-
hold on, I'm sorry.
But
Didn't
it's
Alabama also that year? And I don't want to hear the excuse of backups because most of their starters played in that bowl game. They got destroyed by Michigan's backups.
they got destroyed by Michigan's starters.
No.
Mason Graham
No.
played in that game.
Will Johnson
Okay,
didn't.
sorry,
Number
one
5 pick in
starter.
the draft. That's a pretty big starter on a
But
run-heavy team.
Alabama had majority of their team starting in that game. Majority of it.
I don't really. Jalen Milroe started.
Yes.
Who else played? I don't
They
remember.
had Ryan
I
Williams.
don't care about bowl game. I don't care about bowl games.
I don't
Well, here's
care
my
if you
thing.
don't-
Bowl
Hey,
games between non-playoff team bowl games are useless when it comes to comparing how team
Regardless, I don't
seasons
think-
win.
If Alabama makes it last year,
Because Army's not better than Oklahoma. Let's be real.
If Alabama made it in last year, they get beat in the first round. I don't think they're not beating Penn State and they're not beating Notre Dame. Those would have been the two teams that they would have played.
I don't know if they beat Penn State. I don't know if they beat Notre Dame.
You can't
but
say
I'll
for
tell you
certain
this,
they weren't there.
they're not going to lose by fucking 30 to
Let's
fucking
be
Penn State
realistic,
like Kevin
though.
Jennings did.
I'm going to talk about it like this. Cincinnati, if it was SMU for you, because you're biased with them, right? I think like what it does for that program, not only that, but these teams like Army, yes, is Oklahoma probably better than them? Yes. But they're winning their games. They deserve to be shown into that spotlight.
I'm saying by a pure, I'm saying by a pure unbiased, like I'm saying team one. You look at team one. Team one does not have a single current ranked win, and their best win is the number 18 team in the country. That's their best win.
Okay.
Team one. Look at that team. But let me finish. They look at that team. Team one. They do that. And then they don't win their conference championship. They're already 2 losses because they lost to an unranked team at beginning of the year. Lost to an unranked non-SEC, non-Big Ten, non-independent. They lost to an unranked team at the beginning of the year, and then they lose in their conference championship. I don't think Team 1 is better than Team 2, who beat the conference champ of the SEC, who beat 2 top 25 teams outside that conference champ of the SEC, and has realistically beaten 2 other top 30 teams talent-wise.
Do I think Alabama beats SMU last year? I'm going to say yes. However, I do think SMU, at the end of the day, I still think most deserving should have an impact, and I think SMU deserved it over Alabama.
Like how I
don't
look at
think
it,
they did. I think if they won, I think that's one of those things where it's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame only makes the playoffs when they go undefeated. The only time we did is when we played in the ACC championship game.
Here's my thing with the Alabama stuff. This is the only because
I'm talking about the 14 playoffs at the 12.
You have to put SMU in. This is my argument. If I'm the committee, I look at Alabama and say, "Hey, you're 9-3. You have no right to bitch. If you want to bitch, you should have beat you. If you guys are so good, you could have at least won one of the 3 games you lost. You lost to an unranked. You lost to an unranked Oklahoma team. If you were as good as you think you are, you could have at least won one of those.
But
games.
but I'm saying purely off of that. You can't just go out there and say, "Oh, you should have beaten these teams," because they went and beat better teams. That's my point. They went and beat the best teams, and they had 2 bad games, and one of them really wasn't a bad game.
Ben,
He just had the best game of his career.
Ben, I will say I do agree. Like they filled the glass up, right? But you're looking at it from. Here's the problem. Ryan is looking at it from. They just lost to bad teams they shouldn't be in. You're looking at it from the complete opposite of they beat these good teams they should be in. It's not one or the other. It's not black and white. There's a balance between the two.
There is. Well, no, and that's why I bring in the fact of you're looking at the actual team that's going on the field. A team that is worse worse player-wise, like because we can tell the difference between these teams. We really can't. We say we don't know how Alabama Penn State would go, but I think all of us here would put very good fucking money on the game would be closer than SMU Penn State was.
We were nervous about Alabama facing Notre Dame in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I
wasn't.
Frable, yes, you were. If you say you weren't, you're full of shit.
I wasn't. No, I was telling Alabama fans.
You were saying about the cold was great, but everybody.
They were going to play us in minus 30-degree weather. It would have been freezing cold. They had just got whipped up front by a bad Oklahoma team. I don't think they would. To me, It could have ended up
Got
exactly
whipped up
like
front by a bad Oklahoma team 2 months before the game we're talking about.
but I'm saying I think that it could have ended up how Tennessee ended up against Ohio State. I don't
We don't
think
No, we're not going to say we were going to do to Alabama what Tennessee did against Ohio State because we can't throw the ball like fucking Tennessee
neither could
or
Alabama.
like Ohio State. We can't throw the ball like Ohio State did against
Alabama
Tennessee.
couldn't throw the ball.
What the fuck does that have to do with it, dude? We're not going to throw the ball against Alabama.
I think we would have bitched Alabama up front. That's
No, oh my god, dude.
Hey, man, it's a hypothetical.
I think
matchup.
we would have. Hey, I think we would have beaten them. But
We
I
would have
think
beaten
it would
them. We're
been
not gonna
closer than
bitch
the
them.
Indiana game.
It would have definitely been realistically speaking, it would have been us winning about 27-20 or 27, an actual 27-20, not onside kick.
I think we beat them by 14. But that
I think you're smoking crack. You also said we're going to beat Miami by 14. So
if
here we go.
Oklahoma could beat them by 14, Notre Dame could beat them by 14.
So here's the thing: you're trying to
Ryan,
use
do you remember how upset we
transitive
were?
properties.
Do you remember how upset we were when Notre Dame's side of the bracket happened and we were like, we have to play
Oh, we gotta play Georgia. We beat Georgia by 13.
So we're not So we were scared of Georgia, but we weren't scared of the team that beat Georgia. Got it. That's the logic. Thank you. Okay,
No,
what's the next topic?
I think because they were more consistent.
Dude, I think what it was is I remember is because we were mad that Penn State got the cakewalk side of the bracket because you and me, Sean, both thought we were better than Penn State.
Yeah.
And we're deserving to jump them in the rankings.
Well, and that's another thing that, like, if the conference games fucking mattered, Penn State's an 8th seed going to fucking, or Ohio State's going to Happy Valley.
I will say this. Let's real quick. I still think we haven't fully turned it, but for Penn State, my brother-in-law is a Penn State fan. He said it's like this for him. Us beating Indiana and Georgia, Power 4 teams versus SMU and Boise, which a new Power 4 team and a Group of 5 team. I don't think we would get the credit. I think people would still say Notre Dame isn't back fully because, you beat SMU and Boise instead of Georgia, Penn State, and Indiana. Like, I think the side of the bracket that we were on propelled us even more. I don't know if we would be where we're at either with recruits.
I don't know. I can't tell you something that didn't happen.
I think if Notre Dame, I kind of see, because the win against Georgia really opened people's eyes. Because Georgia,
it was like, wow, Notre Dame's actually here. If we beat SMU, if we beat Boise State, I think people would have just been
like, if you listen to Ben, if you listen to the recruits' reactions just after the Georgia game, even before the Penn State game, it was, wow, Notre Dame proved that they can really beat a top-tier SEC team and beat them in the trenches.
I'm not going to act like I can read a recruit's mind, but if a recruit makes a decision just because we beat Georgia, then I'm going to have to double check what fucking recruits we're going to.
No, I'm not saying it's a decision, but
I'm more saying like if a recruit's like, oh, Notre Dame finally beats Georgia on a team that they're not going to play on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to play with Ryan Leonard. They're not going to play.
Think about it on this aspect. If Cincinnati beats ranked Iowa State,
well, are
they going to get the same attention as if they beat ranked Georgia?
Yeah,
no, but we're not.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But Notre Dame's not Cincinnati.
Yeah, but Notre Dame was.
No, I think
if Cincinnati beats ranked Georgia, we're blowing up the city. That's the thing. If Notre Dame beats ranked Georgia, I'm like, oh my god, we finally did our fucking job. We finally met our standards.
Ben, it's like, and this will kind of take us into our next topic. There was a narrative around Notre Dame football with recruits was, yeah, you can go there, you can get a great education, you can play some of the top football in college football, and what was the but? You struggle to win big games.
You have to pay attention in class.
You have to pay attention to class, and you haven't won an Natty since 1988. That was the narrative, and that was a lot of the anti-Notre Dame recruiting towards us was that. And if you heard a lot,
I'm not going to lie to you. If a recruit really, and I understand it sounds very naive of me to say this, but if a recruit gives a shit that we haven't won a Natty since 1988, I don't want the fucker on my team. Why the
Okay,
fuck do you care?
Ben,
Go win
if-
that natty. Go win the fucking natty then.
Ben, if you're a
I don't
recruit,
give a
if-
shit.
Ben, if you're a recruit and Penn State comes knocking at your door, and James Franklin's like, "Hey, you want to come to Penn State?"
Well, James Franklin's not
I
going to be the
know
one.
you were going
Will
to
you-
say.
What do you think? Are you? I'm seriously though. Would you take that
No,
as
I'm
seriously?
going to tell him to go diddle a kid and close the fucking door
Oh
because
my god!
Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah.
You really chose Frabel, you've been on Twitter with me for the past 9 months, like every day. You really chose Penn State out of all the schools to say.
Well, because that's a narrative.
You could have been like Oregon
Ben-
or like
Ben, I have a
fucking.
question.
It's like, hold on.
Did you get into college football when the 4-team playoff started?
That was my. Yeah, that was my first year watching college football.
Okay, because
I actually hardcore
think
watching
this too. I think Ryan with the SEC. I mean, the SEC was always good when Ryan and I was growing up too, and I think it was different because now, like all these big star players, like quarterbacks or SEC players. While quarterbacks when we were growing up were like Pac-12 players and ACC players, but I think that the 4-team playoff made the SEC even better, and I think we have different opinions because we.
Well, I think.
Yes.
I think. Well, there's also a big part. One thing that also made the SEC better was that if you were an SEC recruit, you get a random McDonald's bag full of $25,000, and no other fucking school could do that.
So this is
And that's something realistically we have to look at. I think Marcus Freeman's doing an amazing job with recruiting, but that helps a lot. The fact that we play by the same rules and we're but we're able to use that money to pay kids and not have to hide it.
So we'll
Yeah,
use
but that's my point, is that we're now able to match these offers. It's not like where we have to out-recruit SEC teams who are also paying this kid like $25,000 or $50,000, or if you're Zion Williamson, $1.6 million.
All right, we'll use this to kind of go to our next topic. My point was like guys like a guy like Keemon Spell, the number 1 running back in the class of 2027, who came out and flat out took shots at Penn State, saying, I want to go to a program that can win big games, and Penn State can't. And then after they fired James Franklin, that was the final nail in the coffin. So,
isn't Oregon on his Final Four?
It's not he's got Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, and I think that's it. Georgia. Oh, Georgia too.
You already said
Georgia said 5 teams, yeah. So it's clearly it means something. But I know we sat here a couple months ago when when we found out he was visiting for the USC game. Ben wasn't too confident. How do we feel now about Notre Dame's chances of landing the number 7 overall player, the number 1 running back in the nation, and the number 1 player in Pennsylvania?
I'm starting to get golden bricked up.
Golden bricked up, huh?
I think it's getting better and better. I think we got a good chance at him. I think we got out of 10 confidence, maybe like a 6 or a 7, 6, 7. But give me a 6 confidence. 6 confidence.
All right, Ben.
I have a boner watching this kid play football. But what was I gonna say? I think it's us in Michigan. If I were him, I'd choose us because fuck Michigan, fuck the whole state of Michigan. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I made that joke and it fucking threw me off my mind.
Yeah, for everybody off, and just leave the podcast. Honestly,
if we we're gonna take it down.
Yeah.
If we're being real here, this is a kid. He's gonna make his decision. We're hearing things about like how maybe he's waiting. He'll make a decision right after he does his visits. That's what we're hearing. So if he wants to come here, he can. That's fine. Would love it. If he doesn't come here, next man up. It's just one of those things that when a kid just decommits, I have to be a little bit like suspicious on why he decommitted.
he grew up a Penn State fan from Pennsylvania. That's a little bit of a like whoa.
Yeah, well, but that's my thing. Like, what's the reason for decommit? Was it really James Franklin?
He said he was already looking at Notre Dame.
But that's the thing. Like, does it have to do with the fact that it's our running back coach now? And does he kind of see like, hey, look at these running backs that are doing really well at Notre Dame? So if it's both, he's gonna choose. I think it's gotta be Notre Dame or Michigan's gonna get him. I pray to God we get him, but if we don't get him, then we're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna get 3 stars and make them into 5 stars. Well,
Our
and it'd be
running
great.
backs lately have all been 4 stars.
Or 4 stars, make them into 5 stars.
I also do think it's
I
interesting.
just don't think I see people saying like, "Oh, this could be like if Notre Dame doesn't get this could be the biggest miss like Notre Dame's had recruiting in a while." I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a miss because we get guys like Jeremiah Love and we make them top 5 picks. We get guys like
Jeremiah
Connor
Love
Williams.
was a top 5 running back in that class and a high 4-star. Like
He was a high force, but he wasn't the number 7 player in the country. Is my point.
this will change. I think he'll still be I think he could still be a high.
He's going to be a 5-star
player. He'll be a top 50 player for sure.
If he's not a 5-star, then I think On 3 hates Catholics. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, to me, Keemon Spell is easily the best running back in the nation. But if we don't get him, we still have guys like Noah Roberts, who is the top 5 running back in the class, who, if you watch his tape, he is just as good. He might just be on a slightly lower tier than Spell, but he is just as good. And then we got Noah Brown, who we also got a prediction log for him to go to Notre Dame. But I do think it's
5-star
interesting.
wide receiver?
Huh?
Isn't there a 5-star wide receiver?
We have two borderline 5-star receivers that are predicted in Notre Dame, and
we're not going to get either of them.
Julius Jones Jr. and Quentin Burrell. But
and we're getting none of them.
With Keemon Spell, right, I do find it interesting that he takes his visits to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's the first team that gets a crack at his commitment since he decommitted, right? It's the first visit he's taken this year. Outside of the Ohio State-Texas game he visited for. And immediately after that game, a prediction from Steve Wilfong, who is pretty good when it comes to dropping a prediction. I'd say probably 80% of the time he's right, if not a little bit higher. And then you see Keemon Spell on Instagram, on Twitter, adding Jeremiah Love, reposting Jeremiah Love highlights, dropping Notre Dame edits, reposting graphics about him getting a prediction to Notre Dame.
Yeah, good.
And he talked about in his interview how getting to see the best running back in college football and Jadarian Price, and how Notre Dame was balanced using them, and both of them got to eat, was very enticing to him. I do think that it was so good for Notre Dame to get him on campus for that game specifically.
Yeah, the rivalry, the rain,
in a rivalry game.
Everything. I will say that I do think that Notre Dame is in a good spot at the running back position, no matter what. But landing him would be, it would be absolutely huge. Steve Wilfong said in an article that covering Notre Dame that recruiting in the last now is a lot different than even what it was 5 to 10 years ago. Kids back then were like, sure, Notre Dame. Kids are now interested in Notre Dame.
Well, not just kids, elite-level recruits.
And that's my main thing where I'm hearing people say it'd be a big miss. I don't think it will. I think we're still going to get the guys we want. I still think we're going to be able to make those guys into top players.
And also, here's my thing, right? Me personally, I think.
And also, to be exact, Jeremiah Love was the 92nd player in the country. So imagine if we get Keemon Spell. I would do want to point this out. Chris Tyree. I was watching the replay of the Virginia game from last year. Chris Tyree, even when he wasn't playing for Notre Dame, he still had Notre Dame in his heart. Thank you for fumbling that kickoff.
I do think this is a recruitment that, even though prediction went in, I think it's going to be a little bit before you hear a commitment. I've seen some things where maybe he takes this all the way till signing day.
This is like a Deuce Knight thing too, where he commits and then we're fighting.
Me personally, just from the vibe I get, I think if whoever he commits to next, I think he's gonna, unless something crazy happens where their coach leaves or something like that, I think once he commits again, I think he's done. Because he's gonna go through this process and visit every team that he wants to. But I do think it is interesting that Notre Dame is really in on this. Notre Dame's been in on this earlier than all the other teams in his top list. And like you said, we did crazy things with Jeremiah Love. If we get Keemon Spell, he's a Heisman. Like he might. He's a different caliber of back.
Who do you compare him to?
He's so.
Dexter Williams.
Like a faster Dexter Williams.
Not a Notre Dame player, like as a recruit being a 5-star.
Oh, just
overall,
in general,
Dexter
like
Williams?
running back in general, like
you think he's compared to Dexter Williams as a 5-star number 7 player in the country?
No, I'm talking about if we were going to compare him to a Notre Dame running back.
just
Overall.
running back in general in college football.
Not even now, just in history, like the last 5-10 years, like
Reggie Bush. Pioneer Reggie Bush.
I would say maybe Ezekiel Elliott, like a better, like
that's a great comparison.
Like I see that in his game, but I think he's got more burst and quickness than Zeke did. But how big he is, he's really tall for a running back. I mean, he even plays DB for his high school team. And look at the blocking right there. He's 5'9".
Could he be the next Saquon?
He looks fucking huge on the tape.
Actually, wait. Saquon's he's bigger. He's bigger for his size. Saquon, I would say Saquon's closer.
How tall is Keemon Spell?
5'9".
Does he not look taller than that on his?
Well, he's probably playing with a 5'8" quarterback. Probably playing with guys who are maybe tallest at 6 foot 6'1" at line. Playing against other like probably 5'10".
Like look at him next to
kids.
his offensive lineman.
Yeah, like guys. Well, where does he play football? He plays football in Pennsylvania. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
It's against the law to be above 6'3" and from Pennsylvania. Like
Pennsylvania is actually a really good state for.
I mean, we have a 6'8" offensive tackle from Pennsylvania.
He's from Maryland. He just plays football in Pennsylvania.
All right. Last thing on Keemon Spell, if he ends up committing and signing with Notre Dame, does he start day one?
No, but it's very similar to Jeremiah Love, where he plays a lot his freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that year would be
Kendrick Young and him as the one.
Yeah, I was gonna say him, Nolan James, and Kendrick Young are gonna be. I think it'd be a lot to how we saw Amias Williams toward the end of the year.
This year's class, sorry.
Javion Osborne.
And overtake Javion Osborne and why am I blanking?
If he comes here, it wouldn't shock me if Javion Osborne transfers.
Yeah.
I think Javion Osborne's gonna be the dude.
I don't want Javion Osborne to transfer, but if he did it, I'd fully respect it. I'd fully understand it.
No, or you could sit here and see, you know what? Even though if I'm not the main starter, there's guys like Jadarian Price at Notre Dame that also.
But that's the other thing. There's outcomes like that. So I don't know if it will happen, but if it did happen, I wouldn't disrespect him for it. I'd fully understand it, and I'm fine with it.
I think it would be a situation like Sean mentioned, where he would be what Jay Love was his true freshman year behind Estime, where he was splitting carries with Price, and we remember, I believe Jay Love his freshman year had almost 500 yards rushing. So I could see that for a spell. And then as like his sophomore year, that those carries and those numbers kind of go up. All right, let's see. We got some comments here. Spell runs like Price with a more powerful lower half.
I thought that, but I didn't want to say it because
my thing with Price is that Price he runs like that in college. I'm not gonna compare Spell to that just because he's in high school.
Yeah.
But I
understand. I understand it.
Andy has Osborne and Walton both top 12 backs in 2026. Spell will be in the mix, though. Yeah, I think Spell's one of those guys. He's too talented for him to not.
Yeah, it's like Michael Mayer. He was behind Cole Kmet, and he was still playing.
But
I think they're going to find a way to get him on the field.
Well, Michael Mayer, he was starting his freshman year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's say he was. But no, that's why I was kind of like, hey, if like he wants to leave, if Osborne or even Walton wants to transfer out, I'd fully respect it. I wouldn't like it. I'd be upset because they're really good guys, but like I'm not going to be like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, why not compete? Like, I fully understand it. Like, it's going to be a hard job to compete for. It would probably be realistically that running back job would be probably the hardest job in the country to win.
What is his weight? Keemon Spell
209.
He's he's fucking huge.
As a junior too.
Like
Think of him
he,
coming on campus 2 years.
I don't know, man. He says he's 5'9". He just looks way bigger than what he.
Well, this is 247. 247 also does not like to update.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this is also his sophomore film. Like this isn't even this year, which is just fucking insane. That this is varsity and he's a sophomore and he's.
Well, so what? It also depends on the school he goes to too. Some schools they also don't have the guys do their heights and cleat or in their cleats. They have to do it barefoot. So the cleats also could add like 2 inches.
Like I would have thought he was at least 5'11", or like 6 foot, but
like 6'7".
6'7", yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get to these final two things.
God damn.
All right, yeah,
Where are the final two? Jesus, Fravel.
All right,
wave in the water.
No.
The fucking free labor.
Another prediction that went in was for another 5-star in class of 2028, defensive lineman Marcus Fakatu. And he is the number 1 defensive lineman, number 4 overall player, number 1 player in California. He is a sophomore this year, which is crazy because if you watch his tape, he looks like a grown-ass man. But what do we think about this? We'll just kind of be quick. I know because it's 2028, so we're pretty far away. I did find it was interesting that typically when you get predictions, it's like one guy, maybe 2. Will Fong, Adam Gorney, both.
Holy shit! This kid was born in 2010.
But both top analysts for Rivals
So old.
have both put in predictions at the same time, and Blue and Gold's Kyle Kelly put in a thing. I have a really weird feeling that Hayes Fawcett posted that Notre Dame ×2 commitment. I think this could be one, which would be interesting because we are almost
very early.
Very early.
You don't get many recruits like that. I mean, Buckner was probably the last one I remember that was like 2 years early.
CJ Carr was 2 years early when he committed in 22. So
Teddy Gerard.
Yeah, Teddy Gerard.
Keon
Miles
Keeley
McGaskin.
I will say this.
Dylan Fajon.
I think that it'd be a great get. It's too early for me to gauge based off rankings and talent. He's an underclassman. But if things stand and he's really that good, I mean, this is what we expected last year to be after the Natty. But realistically, you're really going to start to see the kids interested. The next recruiting class is what Steve Wilfong said, or who's that guy? Tyler from On3, Tyler Horka. So he's really good. This guy's a beast. But when he's a junior, I think we're really going to start digging in on him.
Yeah, so he's from Cali, and I think one of his top 2 teams were Notre Dame and USC as of right now. And so him getting to see Notre Dame kind of whip USC up front again, maybe that kind of leads to a commitment early. I'm kind of hesitant with commitments this early because kids can change their mind. He's got 2 years of high school left, so a lot can happen. But just based off of the tape and what we're kind of seeing, Ben, what do you think about this kid and if Notre Dame can land him? Notre Dame's needed big interior defensive linemen for years. Kind of needed that big superstar defensive lineman that Notre Dame hasn't had. This would be a move in the right direction.
If we get him, it's a good get. Like I said, 2028. I'll look back. I'll look at it.
Our team won't even be on that team. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, no, I was gonna say we're gonna get close to a time where there's kids who weren't even born when we got murdered by Alabama. So they're gonna be like, "Wait, Notre Dame played Alabama in the Natty? I don't remember that." But
that's like literally 5 years from now.
Yeah, it is. Like we're gonna start recruiting kids in like 3 years who weren't even born when.
Well, the kids that are on campus now in this past class that were 5 when we played Alabama?
They were so Charlie
when people weren't even alive when won the Natty.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's what I tell USC fans that are talking shit, and we keep going back to USC. But USC fans that are talking shit, they're like, "Oh, well, Notre Dame hasn't won anything since 1988." I'm like, the players are playing on the field today. We're not alive when USC won their last national championship, so I don't want to hear this 1988 bullshit. But if we get them, we get them. I'll worry more about it in 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
we'll see where we're at in 2 years. Who knows? In 2 years, he might not even be ranked. We don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not likely. No, that's not likely at all. But main point being, it's 2 years away.
He might be
He
top
might be
three.
the best player in the country in 2
I
years.
remember.
Higher chance he's the best player in the country, but he's going unranked.
I remember Rocco Splendor, and it was like Garrett something. He committed to LSU. Splendor was the D tackle. The other guy was the O tackle, and they were both 5-star top 5 players projected to go to like Notre Dame and Michigan. And then Splendor was still a top 50 player and went to Notre Dame, but the other guy went to LSU, and he was like a 200th ranked player. Like, it's too early.
It's too early with it. Like, he's a freshman. He's going into his sophomore year, right?
No, he's a sophomore this year.
He's sophomore. But he's a sophomore right now. This is his freshman.
This is his freshman.
He's playing California football. It's a lot of good clips, so he could be really good. But like I said, I'll be more worried about like his recruiting come next year, probably junior year, at the end of his junior year.
Agreed.
All right, and then our final one, Notre Dame did get a commitment from James Halter, another legacy recruit, the second legacy recruit in the class of 2027. James Flanagan. Jim Flanagan, yeah. He is a 4-star, top 300 player, interior offensive lineman. This Notre Dame's class right now for 2027, it's still early, but they are a top 10 class. How do we feel about this one for Notre Dame? I'll pull up his.
I think this 2027 class could be the best we've had, and it could be the best we've had if everything sticks with what we were looking at. Could be the best we've had in like 10 years. And we've had really good ones, but I think this is a really good get. One of my favorite offensive linemen in this class. I think he might be our best offensive lineman when it's all said and done in that class.
Yeah, I want to say it was Chad Powers who kind of gave a scouting report that he is a late bloomer. James Halter
Chad Powers, the Southern Georgia quarterback?
Huh? No,
isn't that the TV show?
Oh my God, whatever.
You're thinking of the guy that's the on
Charles Powers. Charles Powers. There we go.
There you go.
Charles Powers who said that he's.
Is that a good show?
I watched the first episode. It was pretty okay.
But he said that he's a late riser, late bloomer, but he could see himself significantly move up the boards as time goes on. I like his physical. I think he's just like a stereotypical Notre Dame offensive lineman. He's going to bully you up front, put you on your ass. I haven't really. This is my first time watching his tape. I haven't really got to watch his tape yet. But early impressions, early thoughts, Ben.
2027 kid. At least, hey, now we're in the junior year. Hey, it's a good commitment. Another legacy. It's important to get stuff like that. I think he's still the second best.
Your mic's cutting out, Ben.
I think he's the second best lineman we signed for this class. Shout out long snapper Kraft. Sean Kraft. We saw that video of him zipping the ball during the Dan Patrick show. But I think, this is a good pickup. That's all I can really say about it. I have not watched any of his film. I'm in full season mode. I'm not watching recruits.
Yeah,
I'm in full season mode.
So yeah.
So
I spend 2 hours a day at work watching Pittsburgh film. I'm in full season mode.
Let's bring up that Marcus Freeman rejected Florida today, just for 2 seconds.
Yep.
Rejects Florida. It's not 2005 Florida. It's the NIL era. Notre Dame's a better program. Sorry, but not sorry. I sent it to my friend that's a Florida fan. He's like, well, I wanted Lane Kiffin anyway. I was like, yeah, but you're
getting Lane Kiffin.
You're not going to get Kiffin. I think Mike McDaniel would be a great option for Florida, but doubt it happens. But who knows? Maybe they get – I don't know who they get. But, yeah, it was something big and fun to talk about that he rejected Florida. And
I heard from it earlier from people at Ohio State that played with Freeman. They don't think that Freeman wants to leave for anything but Ohio State. And they don't even know if Ohio State would offer him a job if Ryan Day left. So
and I don't think Ryan Day leaves for another 5 years. Man,
Ryan Day might stay there until his kid's done with college.
Yeah.
And his kid's like a junior in high school, so
Yeah.
like, there's no reason for Ryan Day to leave.
Please stay forever, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's great to see.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome when you read the quote about it was a short call, and all Freeman said was no. And that was basically just the whole entire phone call was just him saying, "Hey, do you want the Florida job?"
Hey,
No.
but in college football 06, he played as Florida.
He did. Yeah, I don't think Freeman's ever going to leave Notre Dame unless it's for Ohio.
Knock on wood.
Well, I don't have any wood by me, but
You got wood on you.
All right.
Next topic.
All right. The final topic. We're just going to go through our pick'ems. Get those pulled up.
I want to point this out. Who said Matt Rule was paying too much attention to the Penn State job? I did. I think I went under 500 on the rest of my picks, but at least I got that one right.
Wow.
All right. First one. Illinois at Washington.
Washington.
Really?
Yeah. At Washington, why not? Bounce back from Michigan.
Yeah, give me UW in that one.
Give me Illinois.
All right, UCLA at Indiana.
Indiana.
I'm
taking the Bruins.
Oh my God.
Well, you're autistic. Give me Indiana, and I swear to God, if Illinois wins, I'm going to be pissed. Or if UCLA wins, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm going to put $5 on UCLA money line. See how that works out.
Do you think UCLA is going to win, or do you?
I think UCLA.
He wants UCLA to win so fucking bad because he's tired of hearing Indiana's the better team in Indiana.
Yeah, I am. I am very sick of it. The losingest program.
Just accept it. We're the younger brother, Fravel. Just fucking accept it right now. We're currently the younger brother.
I can't accept.
It's a bad year. It's a bad year. We're still gonna make the fucking playoffs.
Wait, hold on. How can we be a younger brother of a team that has a losing record to us and Purdue?
This year we are the younger brother. It's a bad year, and we're still gonna make the playoffs. Overall, we're not the younger brother, but this year we are.
Ole Miss at Oklahoma.
Ole Miss.
Give me Oklahoma.
If Oklahoma wins this, do both these teams miss the playoffs? Give me Ole Miss.
It's at Ole Miss. Is that Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's at Oklahoma.
Trinidad Chandler fucks it up somehow. Give me Oklahoma.
All right. UVA at the Fighting Jordan Hudsons.
I don't know what that is.
North Carolina.
Oh, actually, I do have a pick for this game. I'm going to pick North Carolina, and I'm going to.
Or you're fucking on drugs.
So I'm going to tell you why.
Wait. Before you give your reason why, I want to point out I'm also picking North Carolina in this game.
Oh, I'm going to tell you why, though. Here we go. Both these ACC teams aren't winning out. They're going to have an upset. But here's this. My friend is a Virginia fan. They looked really bad. And he was texting me to turn on the game. I turned on the game, and then they flipped the game around. But I told him that, do you remember a few years ago when North Carolina was a top 10 team and unranked Virginia upset them? And he was like, yeah.
Yes.
I said the reverse is going to happen this week. The reverse is going to happen.
I don't know, because Jordan Hudson is going to be, telling people that she's better at them at their job.
Oh, that's his girlfriend. Duh.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm taking Virginia in that one. South Florida at Memphis.
That's a tough one. Memphis just lost. I'm going to go with South Florida because I think they're the best group of 5 team in college football this year.
Give me Memphis.
See, here's the thing. I like psychotic football. But at the same time, I don't want to take the same team as Fravel.
So pick the same team as Sean.
I really like psychotic football. I really want Memphis to win this game. So then we could have fucking psychotic shit like Navy's the front runner to make the group 5. I'm taking Memphis. I want Memphis to win this so bad because I'd love just to read the report. Navy could make the playoffs because they're the undefeated group of 5 team.
And then Notre Dame will beat them. Then people are going to be like, what about Boise? They win the American. I mean, Mountain West.
And,
I'm about to
It's
say
not
the
that.
all right, Alabama at South Carolina.
Alabama.
really a pick 'em.
Yep, it is.
South Carolina's going to win
Alabama.
one of these games down the stretch, but I think it's
Yeah, I think South Carolina's probably going to beat Vandy, or not Vandy. I think South Carolina's going to beat Ole Miss, but give me Alabama here.
Mizzou at Vandy.
What was your pick, Fravel,
I'm taking Vandy.
for the South Carolina Alabama game?
Oh, I took Alabama.
Okay.
all right. But you pick Vandy, Ben.
Andy.
Oh,
I just don't like Missouri, dude.
I think that they're solid. I'm going to pick them. I'm going to pick Vanderbilt.
right. BYU at Iowa State. Iowa State's actually favored in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to pick
That's they slurs.
Give me the Cyclones. What did you say, Ben?
What's your pick, Sean?
I said BYU.
Me BYU.
Baylor at Cincinnati. Sean's going to pick Baylor. Well, that's for both of them.
I would say they're both Bears.
Well, one's a Bearcat.
One's a Bearcat.
I'm gonna pick Baylor. I grew up going to when my dad was in the Army in Fort Hood. We used to go to Baylor games as a kid.
Man, why you gotta make an emotional connection to it? I was gonna call you an asshole, but now I can't.
Yeah.
Give me UC. Go Bearcats.
Well, fuck! I don't want to pick the same team as Fravel. Ah! Do I pick my alma mater or do I pick against Fravel? I got UC should win this game. If they don't, then
Stupid as shit.
my drinking problem, bro. Dude, shut the fuck up.
Wait, so
If UC loses this game, it's what?
did UCF copy that partially? Because like they do the same thing of like the UC.
I don't know.
and then, like
I
it's
don't know what poverty franchises do. I don't really care.
All right. Texas at Mississippi State.
The line does not concern himself with the accident lay. What's going?
Give me Mississippi State in this game.
Yeah, give me more cowbell.
What time's the game?
Night game.
It's not a night game. It's a midday game. 3:15
That-
kickoff.
Nice.
Give me Texas.
All right. Texas A&M at LSU.
I'm gonna pick Texas A&M because big game Brian Kelly. Now I have the question of this will make very interesting because LSU, I will guarantee you, will not finish 10-2. They will finish 9-3. If they beat A&M, I still think they lose to Bama, but then I wonder if they beat A&M, jump to like 13 and then go back down to 20, 15, 16. I'm interested where they finish, but I'm going to pick A&M in this game. I just think A&M's too good right now for what LSU is doing.
Yeah, give me the Aggies.
Yeah, give me A&M. We're all gotta be wrong. Fucking LSU's gonna win it somehow.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be the...
All right. Michigan at Michigan State. Michigan.
Who's USC play? Oh, they're on bye week.
Bye week.
Michigan State. Fucking Aiden Childs.
Isn't he hurt?
I have no fucking clue.
All right. Tennessee at Kentucky.
I would love for Kentucky to win that, but I'm going to pick Tennessee.
This seems like a Mark Stoops game.
They almost beat Texas last week.
Yeah, I know.
Sucks, bro.
Give me Kentucky. Fuck it.
All right, and then our final one.
What are you picking?
I took Tennessee. Final one, 6-1 Houston and the Fighting Connor Wegmans at number 24 Arizona State.
All right, I live here in Tempe, right? Or in Mesa near Tempe.
It's the night game in Tempe.
I am going to pick Houston. And the reason I pick Houston is because Jordan Tyson a future top 10 pick is out this week for Arizona State. That's going to loom big in this game. Houston wins.
I'm going to take Houston as well in the upset on the road in Tempe. Give me the Cougars.
Okay, I'm around the guy who I said the Colts should take in the NFL draft. Give me Sam Leavitt and the Arizona State.
Cardinals going to draft him?
Maybe.
You got Kyler Murray. You're good.
Oh,
Give me
my
Arizona
God.
State.
We've had him for 8 years. He's done.
I'll take Arizona State.
Lost to the Titans.
Oh, shit. You know what? I bet Kyler Murray is excited. A new Call of Duty is about to come out.
There's one game we didn't talk about.
What game?
Georgia Tech, Syracuse.
Georgia Tech's going to blow out
Oh,
Syracuse.
dude, I swear to fucking Jesus Christ, if Syracuse wins that game, I'm going to never let you hear the end of it.
I want Syracuse to win that game.
If they had Stephen Jelly,
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
Duke looked better the whole game until they got in the red zone, which of course it's football.
They outgained.
They looked
Tech
better
by like
than
200
Georgia
yards.
Tech that whole game, and then fumbled, botched field goal, got stuffed. I was like, come on, man.
It reminds me a lot of their Illinois game.
Yeah. No. Duke's got to figure out their red zone offense. Anyways, it's been a really long show. Ben's yawning. He's got to get to sleep.
Yeah, I got the Pacers game tomorrow. I get to see the real NBA champs play.
For the 282 people watching, please go over.
Damn.
482? Oh.
282.
Sorry.
Go over to the
Oh,
Voice of
wow.
College Football Notre Dame channel. Drop a like, sub, comment. We'll be back next week, same time, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Anyways, guys, I have been your host, Ryan Fervell, with my co-hosts Ben and Sean and the cute puppers to the side. We will be back next week. Stay safe, and as always, go Irish.